Hey, good, thank you. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of Mrs. Mumford and myself, we'd like to welcome you to this evening's performance. We had a good show last night. Kids did a really nice job. We're hoping to do the same tonight. Just curious, those of you that were here last night, how many figured it out? Okay. So if you figured it out, maybe you'll catch some new things tonight that you missed last night with all the redirection that goes on in the show. But fun show to do with the kids. Some thank yous. They're all in the program, but Robin Phillips with Designs of Elegance helped us out with chair covers and centerpieces and table linens. Hefty Reynolds, specifically John Hefty, for hauling the tables and the chairs that you're going to see up here on the stage tonight too. So we'd like to thank you all for coming. We certainly would love to thank the Pulaski Board of Education, all the administrators for all their support of what we do up here. I think that's it. Sit back, enjoy Murder on the 518.
Bound for Los Angeles, now boarding on platform 2. Departure in 15 minutes. All aboard West Coast 518.
I can't believe this day has finally arrived. The day I get to head to Los Angeles with the love of my life on a honeymoon. Can you believe we've been married for 3 whole weeks, Caleb?
It feels like only yesterday that my beautiful bride became my beautiful wife. I can't wait to spend the next 10 days exploring Los Angeles with you, Rachel.
Long walks on the beach.
Visiting all the museums.
Riding all the rides at Disneyland.
Seeing all the stars on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I'm so excited. I have been looking forward to this trip every minute of every day since our wedding. I don't want anything to ruin this vacation.
Well, we better hurry up and get our tickets. We don't want to miss the train.
Evelyn entered the train station. The platform was brightly lit against the dimming light of the waning day. People were moving to and fro, hustling and bustling to reach their destinations. Evelyn approached the ticket counter, eager to begin her own journey.
May I help you, miss?
As Evelyn approached the counter, the young ticket seller asked, "May I help you, miss?" Evelyn replied, "Why, yes, thank you. May I please have 1 ticket to Los Angeles?"
Ma'am, are you saying you'd like to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles?
Evelyn sighed in frustration at the ticket seller, who didn't seem to understand her simple request to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. It was imperative that Evelyn get to Los Angeles the next day to meet with her publisher and present her latest collection of short stories.
Ma'am, if I could have your attention for 1 moment, I'm not sure I understand.
Yes, I need to purchase a ticket to Los Angeles. I just said that.
My apologies. I was not sure if you were speaking to me or speaking to your notebook.
As a writer, I need to be constantly aware of my surroundings and record every detail so that I can incorporate it into my work. Even everyday conversations and interactions can find their place in the written world.
I see. Well, here's your ticket. Enjoy your trip to Los Angeles.
With a ticket finally in hand, Evelyn made her way to the boarding platform as the warm evening wind swirled about.
Hello, sir. How may I help you?
1 for Los Angeles.
Would you like to bring your bag or would you like to keep it with you?
My equipment goes where I go. You never know when the opportunity to use it will arise. I must be prepared.
Sir, I'm not quite sure if there will be an opportunity to play basketball on the train.
I didn't become Mike Umbar, top sports recruiter in the Western Conference, with that kind of attitude.
Excuse me? I think the pursuit of knowledge should be held in more esteem than the pursuit of basketball championships, especially at a university. I hope the students you recruit understand the value of receiving an education and do not think the entirety of their college experience should be spent in a gymnasium seeking the approval of mindless sports fans.
How dare you talk about sports that way? Sports provide teamwork, physical fitness, critical thinking, and so much more. Just who do you think you are?
Professor Holly Barnes, University of Utah, Department of Physics and Astronomy. While you spend your time recruiting people to run around a basketball court in circles, I spend my time researching the night sky.
Isn't it a little right in Los Angeles to be researching the night sky?
For your information, I'm headed to the city to give a presentation on the Perseus at the Griffith Observatory. The meteor shower was particularly spectacular this August due to the setting of the waxing crescent moon.
And you call me the crazy one. You're the one speaking gibberish, nerd.
Neanderthal!
We can help connect some customers.
One ticket for Los Angeles, please.
You're going to Los Angeles? I am too. One to Los Angeles. I'm Abby Wells. Dr. Lauren Mahoney. Nice to meet you. You're a doctor? I'm studying medicine. Veterinary medicine. I'm going to Los Angeles to get experience as an aquatic vet tech. It's a little hard to work with marine life in Utah. I bet there's a lot you can teach me. Well, that's nice, but I'm an emergency room physician, not a veterinarian. I don't think I'll be able to help you very much. But I read in my Introduction to Brain Studies book that a lot of medicine can be applied across disciplines. I'm sure they were talking about animal studies, but humans are animals too, right? Listen, I do love my job, but everyone needs some time off. Wouldn't you agree? I'm spending my time out visiting family in Los Angeles. And truly, work is the last thing I want to think about while I'm there. It was nice to meet you, though. Up next, two customers.
Hey there! One for the city of flowers and sunshine, friend.
I'm sorry. Where, sir?
The city of angels. The big orange. La La Land.
I'm afraid I still don't understand, sir.
He means Los Angeles. And can you please stop your tapping? I've been trying to read the same paragraph over and over the whole time we were in line because I can't concentrate with all the racket. I also need one ticket for Los Angeles, please.
Come on, my newspaper reading friend. When is it that's taking you to the coast?
I am not your friend. I am Owen Casey, private investigator. I'm trying to read this article about bank fraud, but you seem intent on stopping that from happening. And of course, we're on the same train.
Private investigator, huh? That sounds pretty exciting, friend. Music can be exciting too. Probably in a different way.
Definitely in a different way. And since you'll probably tell me anyhow, what takes you to Los Angeles? Peace and love?
I am going to become a musical sensation, friend. This guitar is my ticket to the good life. I'm off to the coast to play my way to the top of showbiz. It won't be long before you see my name, Nelson Henry, in that newspaper right there, friend.
I'm not your friend. And stop that tapping.
We got the next two customers.
It just doesn't make any sense, Jennifer. You can't base the success of our restaurant on desserts alone. It is not a bakery. It is not a cafe. It is a restaurant. The main entrees are going to be the feature.
You aren't even listening to me, Derek. That isn't what I said at all. The restaurant won't survive if we bill it as just another seafood place in Los Angeles. We need to have that extra piece of flair, and that flair will be found in my desserts.
Spoken like a true pastry chef. Well, I'm the executive chef, and the owner told me that I could take the restaurant in any direction I wanted when he hired us to be the new chef team.
Exactly, Chef Team. As in the both of us, not the Chef Derek show.
Excuse me, but do you need purchase tickets? Please meet people on with it.
Sorry for the holdup. My husband always seems to think he's center of attention in and out of the kitchen. Two for Los Angeles, please.
Jennifer, if we want to get this restaurant off the ground, then you might want to realize that I deserve to be the center of attention in the kitchen.
Are you serious? What part about the word team seems to be confusing you?
We have the next two customers.
This place is just disgusting. Just look around. It's too hot. That train is making smoke. And is that sand blowing around the floor? This is not a place I should be expected to set foot in.
Isabella, we've been over this. We have to take the train to Los Angeles as a part of your next movie, Sunset on the Rails. West Coast Railways is the company providing the trains for the film, and they said they won't have their name appearing in your movie unless you are seen actually riding one of their passenger trains for publicity. It's in your contract.
Well, Lucy, I have no idea why you agreed to that. You're supposed to look out for my interests. And this is not something a movie star would be interested in.
I'm your assistant, Isabella, not your agent. He's the one who agreed to this. Besides, I'm sure it won't be as bad as you're making it out to be.
Excuse me, miss. Those women were in line before you. Please step to the side.
Do you know who I am? I am Isabella Madison, star of the movie One More Day, which is currently the top grossing film in Iceland, Greenland, and Norway. I don't step aside, and I certainly don't wait in lines with people. People wait in lines for me.
That's ridiculous. You can't just get your own way because you're some movie star.
It's fine. Take care of them. We can wait. We'll get to the ticket booth in a minute.
She can't just cut in front of us in line because she was in some foreign film that no one has ever even heard of. You deserve more respect than she does. You're the CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals.
Yes, Jillian. And you are my assistant. And as the CEO, I'm telling you to not worry about it.
And that is final. I don't care if the only sleeper cars you have left house 2 people. I demand my own. And when is dinner? I'm just famished from this whole ordeal.
Dinner will be served tonight at 7 and breakfast will be served tomorrow morning at 8.
The food on this train had better be prepared by competent chefs. The last thing I need on this venture is substandard cuisine. And I had best have my own table in the dining car. I absolutely will not have my meals disturbed by whatever other nonsensical people are on this ridiculous train trip.
Thank you. I'm sorry.
I apologize for the inconvenience, ladies. Where are you heading?
It's fine. It wasn't your fault. 2 tickets for Los Angeles, please?
Certainly. Would you like to check into your bags?
No, thank you. I have a meeting with Sunset Pharmaceuticals, and I don't want to wait for baggage to be unloaded.
I still don't understand why we couldn't just fly there, Miss Millen. We could have arrived tonight and have had plenty of time to get ready for your presentation tomorrow. Or should I say get ready for your takeover? This will be the 3rd company that Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals has acquired this year.
Jillian, you know we cannot take our samples on a plane. I'm scared that the change in air pressure will mess with them and our presentation will fall flat. This acquisition is just too big to leave anything to chance.
Of course, Miss Millen. You're right, as always.
All aboard! West Coast 518, bound for Los Angeles. Final boarding call. Departure in 5 minutes. All aboard! West Coast 518.
One ticket on the 518, please.
The train to Los Angeles, ma'am?
It doesn't matter where it's headed. All that matters is that Isabella Madison is on it. And that means I need to be on it, too.
Excuse me for asking that, but why must you be on the train, sir?
Because I'm Cindy Fenner. Paparazzo extraordinaire!
I heard that she had to ride a train as part of her contract, and I followed her here to Salt Lake City on her movie tour. I've been waiting in this station for 2 days for her to show up.
We're well aware.
My patience has paid off, though. I watched every other person board this train, and no one else is here on assignment. Photos of Isabella Madison throwing her tantrums on this train are going to skyrocket me to the top.
All aboard! West Coast 518, bound for Los Angeles, is now departed.
The dining car could best be described as quaint. The 4 tables, each adorned in modest drapery, stood anxiously awaiting the arrival of their occupants. The 3 staff members moved about, excited to see to their activities.
Good evening, miss. The dining car is assigned seating. May I see your ticket, please?
Evelyn was startled by the arrival of the steward. She had not realized that she would need to bring her ticket to dinner with her and was frightfully unprepared for the conversational exchange.
Excuse me, miss? But if you could just please tell me your sleeping cabin number, I can check my list and tell you your seating assignment. We posted a chart by the entrance, but you arrived beforehand.
I like to be the first to arrive in group settings. It gives me the most opportunity to make as many observations as possible in my short stories. Evelyn Williams, sleeping cabin 14.
Ah, yes, Miss Williams. Turns out cabin 14 is actually assigned to this table. May I pour you something else to drink while you wait?
Evelyn was pleased with the good fortune of sitting at the table which was assigned to her, as she required no other beverage than the water which was already provided. The remaining waitstaff returned to the kitchen to continue with their dinner preparations.
It says here that working in a beach rescue can be just as taxing as working in an emergency room. I told you there's so much you could teach me.
I'm sure helping an injured sea creature can be a very stressful situation. But as I said before, I would really prefer to leave work off the train. Okay, cabin 6, table 2.
I'm at table 2 with you. I'm gonna have the best time on this trip.
At least one of us will.
I truly hope you are not planning to entertain the diners with that instrument. Some of us came to the dining car to actually dine.
You never know when inspiration will strike, friend. And some people find that listening to music while dining can be a very enjoyable experience.
That's true. I've been trying to convince my husband that adding tasteful live music to our restaurant could be a huge draw for patrons. I think it would set us apart from other restaurants in the area. But he's convinced adding tasteful live music will detract from the atmosphere.
Is your husband on this train, friend? I would love to speak to him about the benefits of music and eating, and to offer my services to this restaurant of yours.
He's supposed to be meeting me here for dinner. He ran off as soon as we got on board to go who knows where. But I am not going to stand around and wait for him. He can just meet me at our table. It was nice to meet you.
Nelson Henry, musical sensation. I will keep my eye open for your husband, my friend. Perhaps we can convince him that music is the key to success.
The same train and now the same table? What does a guy have to do to get a break around here?
Come on, my investigator friend. We are going to have a great time on this journey. We need to give our friendship a chance.
Why is that exactly?
Well, you never know when you might need a friend. In fact, I know a song about that.
Please don't.
Well, maybe my writer friend would enjoy a nice dinner tune. I was just saying how music can enhance the dining experience.
Evelyn winced at the prospect of a guitar-wielding person at her dinner table regaling her with a song. However, she decided to give in, as arguing would likely only delay the onset of the song's inevitable arrival.
Come on now, friends. Why so serious?
I'm not your friend. Do you even know what the word serious means? How do you expect to launch your music career being this passive?
I think you misunderstand me, friends. I am very serious about my music, but where will I get if I am as uptight as you, not even willing to make a friend, or always have my face stuck in the notepad? I want to enjoy the journey.
Well, you may want to enjoy the journey. I want to record the journey. Writers need a great deal of material to work with, and this can provide some of that.
You know, being a private investigator is like that. Like in this bank fraud case I was just investigating. The scheme was complex. There were lots of moving players in the game. If I hadn't been paying attention to my surroundings, I would have never realized it was the security guard who's walking the bonds out the front door.
Okay, serious friends, no dinner music. Perhaps I can channel some of the serious energy at this table to write a serious song. May I borrow a piece of paper, writer friend?
She's not your friend either. None of us are friends.
Our first honeymoon meal, darling. And look, we're at table 1.
And we're in cabin 1. It must be because we boarded the train first.
I think it's because I'm your number 1 and you're my number 1.
Oh my goodness. You two must be on your honeymoon. No one who's been married longer than a week would be acting like the two of you.
We are on our honeymoon, but we've been married for 3 weeks and we love each other as much as ever.
Are you married? Yes, I am, though I seem to be flying solo at the moment. Where on earth is Derek? Dinner's going to be served soon. I guess I'll just order for him.
I'm sure that your case of samples would have been just fine with your cabin, Miss Millen. After all, your cabin door locks, and your case has a lock on it too. And you are the only one with the key to your case.
You're probably right, but as I said earlier, this acquisition is just too important to leave anything to chance. No samples, no presentation, no acquisition. I'll just put it under the table where it won't bother anybody while we eat, and I'll feel much better.
Of course, Miss Millen. You're right, as always.
That's a really nice camera you have there. Are you a professional photographer? I'm sure you get some lovely shots of the scenery while we travel.
Of sorts, but the only thing I want to photograph is right here on the train with us.
I recognize you from the train station. Why were you just sitting around? Good train to catch.
Can you keep it down? I'm here to photograph Isabella Madison. You know, the movie star? I have to sit down before she gets here and sees me.
Paparazzo, eh? Those people cause all sorts of trouble for good athletes. They should just leave people in peace.
It seems to me that if people don't want the attention of the media, then perhaps they should choose careers that are less high profile.
Another crack at athletes. You know, just because no one likes what you do doesn't make what we do less important.
I believe I said people in general. You are the one that brought up athletes. You are completely insufferable.
Hey! Didn't I see you two arguing earlier? What's going on?
We were just having a bit of a disagreement about academics. I feel that the pursuit of knowledge is the most noble endeavor. Coach here does not.
No, I never actually said that studying wasn't important.
Yes, you did at the ticket counter.
No, I said I was a sports recruiter, and you went right about on how dumb sports are. I never even got a word in edgewise. I got to college on a sports scholarship, you know, to study. I wouldn't have gone to college without that scholarship.
And what is your degree? A bachelor's in being loud and obnoxious?
You know, being physically and mentally fit is important for people. It's important for marine life too. I read here that some marine life play games with each other, and some can even build tools for themselves. Isn't that neat?
I have to agree with Abby here. As a doctor, we frequently tell patients that physical and mental acuity are both very important. I frequently see patients in the ER who could have avoided their situation by being more physically fit or by using their minds to avoid the situation which got them there.
See, the good doctor here says people need to use their mind when engaging in physical activity.
Yeah, I'm sure that looking up at the stars while running will really help avoid injury.
There you go again.
What on earth were you doing in the kitchen?
I'm a chef, aren't I? I was doing market research for our restaurant.
In the kitchen of a train?
You have to be more open-minded, Jennifer. You never know what you can learn from new experiences.
This coming from a man who has shot down every one of my ideas. See what I mean about marriage? This is what I get to deal with.
Don't listen to her. We've just been a little bit on edge lately because of this new restaurant we're opening.
You own a restaurant? That sounds exciting.
Well, not yet anyway. The owner is one of those investment real estate types. He bought the restaurants in hopes to run as a sort of side business for himself. But he found out really quickly that running a restaurant is really hard work. So he decided to hire some people with decent experience.
The owner is letting us totally design everything, from the paint on the walls to the napkin colors. Well, if this goes well, we'll be able to buy the restaurant down the road.
Is it hard going into business with your spouse? I mean, Rachel and I love spending time together, but we go to 2 separate jobs during the day.
It's definitely been a challenge, and we have been arguing quite a lot lately.
You're right. Let's try to enjoy the rest of our trip. One night without talking about the restaurant, okay? We'll pick up on it tomorrow.
Sounds good to me. So, what sites are you planning to see on your honeymoon?
There you are, Isabella. Did you really have to change your outfit again? The one you wore before was just fine for dinner.
A movie star belongs to the public, Lucy. These people might have already seen me today. They expect me to change my outfit.
We need to get seated so dinner can be served. It's already after 7. I checked the chart. We're at table 3.
Lucy, who are these people sitting at my table?
I'm not sure, Isabella. The people who are assigned to the table. What's the matter?
You might recall that when we purchased our tickets on this ill-conceived journey, I demanded my own table. I will not be forced to interact with these commoners.
Miss Madison, this tantrum is not really necessary. I can assure you that Jillian and myself will be perfect, acceptable dinner companions.
Really, this is the second time today you've treated us like this. No one here deserves to be talked down to and told they're commoners either.
Please, Miss Madison. As you can see, the dining car is to full capacity. We've gone to accommodate every request, but we cannot make more tables and clothes. Won't you please have a seat so we can start serving the meal? Everyone is quite hungry.
Please, Isabella, it's fine. You don't even have to talk to them. Please just have a seat.
Well, you had all better be prepared to give me everything I request for the remainder of this journey, or none of you will be employed after this trip. I am Isabella Madison, and I will be treated as such.
I cannot believe how she keeps on treating you. If this were a pharmaceutical conference, you could be making demands like her. She has no idea who she's talking to.
Jillian, we cannot pick and choose who we deal with on a day-to-day basis. We will be the more mature people in this situation and be better for it. Now, can we please try to enjoy the meal?
I don't think we were like Isabella's assistant. We are pleased to meet you.
A pleasure. I'm Avery Millet, CEO of Salt Lake Pharmaceuticals, and this is my assistant, Jillian Hill.
I've heard of that company. It's an honor to meet the CEO.
Miss Millen is the youngest CEO in the company's history and has grown the corporation more during her leadership than the last 3 CEOs combined.
Yes, Jillian. She makes it sound way more exciting than it really is, though. It's very difficult to grow a small company, and the only reason the growth is happening is because the work the others put in before me.
Still, those are some impressive accomplishments. Did you study business?
Actually, she studied chemistry. Most of our top pharmaceuticals are based on Miss Millen's own chemical design.
Yes, thank you, Jillian. When the previous CEO retired, the board of directors thought it would be a good change to put somebody in charge who actually knew how the medicine worked. I did do some business study, but Jillian is a big help on the business side of things.
That's really interesting. I studied business management myself and would definitely not know anything about pharmaceuticals. So I see what the board of directors was thinking. It seems like that decision is working out really well for them.
You studied business management to get bossed around by a demanding movie depot?
Jillian!
No, it's okay. I get that question a lot. Actually, Isabella and I were friends in high school. Then we went to the same college. When she started getting parts in commercials and guest TV appearances, she asked me to be her assistant because she knows nothing about business. And to be honest, I really needed a job. She didn't start to get like this until that movie of hers really took off. Working with Isabella is great for now, but one day I would like to get into a different line of business.
I'm a doctor, is that all right? Does anyone need medical attention? What is the meaning of this? My dinner is completely ruined and my clothing is soiled.
Our sincere apologies, Miss Madison. There must be a good reason as to why I turned this off. We'll find out right away.
I'm an investigator. Maybe I can help.
So people often got hard for granted. Each trying to accept with sudden events.
I can't see anything. Too far away from the front of the frame. Someone should go out there and check it out.
I don't think that's a good idea, my sports playing friend. Maybe we should just stay put until we hear what's going on. That would be your solution, wouldn't it? Just use brute force, climb out of the car, and run headlong into a potentially dangerous situation.
If it were up to you, we'd sit here waiting for information. Take some action.
We have been here for only moments. Some patience would benefit you.
So-
Don't we
Listen. We went to the front of the train, and the conductor said there was a rock slide on the tracks. They already have people cleaning it up, and we should be on our way in no time.
We greatly apologize for the inconvenience. If you need only to go to your room, press enough, then of course, then return to the dining car, we can make this clean up and serve convenient.
Okay, that sounds good.
Come on, Isabella, let's go back to your room and change your outfit. Isabella? Seriously, it's not so bad. You brought lots of clothes. Isabella?
Come on, back up! Give us some space! You, are you taking pictures? Stop that! Give me that picture of water. Give me your jacket to use as a blanket. Call 911! Alright, Lauren, I have the supplies. How can I help?
Abby, there's nothing you can do!
I have skills. I can help!
Abby, listen to me! There's nothing you can do! There's nothing I can do! She's dead!
dead. It's just awful.
I know, she wasn't sick or anything.
Wow. Nothing like someone dying to ruin the feel-good atmosphere of a dinner of friends.
I'm so sorry, Lucy. I understand that you and Isabella were friends for a really long time.
It's like it's not even real. I just don't know how this happened. I was with her all day and she was fine. Even at dinner, she seemed fine. And then all of a sudden she dies? It just doesn't make any sense.
Did she hit her head when the train stopped suddenly or choke on something that she was eating?
I doubt it. If something like that were to happen, she would have made a whole scene about it, and all of us would have known.
What is the matter with you all? A young woman drops dead, and you sit here and make jokes about her?
I'm sure nobody meant to make a joke. Right, everybody? I'm pretty sure he meant that Isabella didn't seem injured or act like she was choking.
There's no cell reception here. We must be too far into the mountains now. I'm having no luck getting a call through to the authorities, but trained personnel are trying to get a hold of someone and have asked me to take lead on the investigation. Lauren, did you notice anything weird about Isabella's death?
Abby?
You are the medical expert here.
Sorry. Abby and I were just talking about that. I didn't notice any injuries of any type. And when I tried CPR, her airway was clear, which disproves the idea she may have choked.
Can you determine a cause of death?
Unfortunately, it looks like her heart just stopped. I have no way of determining that here.
Lucy, was Isabella taking any sort of medicine? Did she have a history of heart disease?
No, she was totally healthy. The last time she saw a doctor was a while ago, but her checkup was fine. If she had any sort of medical issue, I would have known about it. She hates taking any kind of medicine, and we didn't pick up anything for this trip.
Do you think it was something she ate? Should we be worried?
I don't think we have to worry about that. Most all of us ate the same food. If there was something wrong with the dinner, more than one of us would have been affected. Other than some kinds of fish, I can't think of any foods that make your heart stop. We didn't eat anything like that. I mean, you can get food poisoning, and that can be really serious, but it isn't instantaneous.
So let me get this straight. Isabella had no history of heart disease or illness of any kind. She didn't eat anything that may have gotten her sick, and she wasn't hurt when the train stopped from the rock slide. Her heart just stopped?
Hold on. Are you saying what I think you're saying?
It seems so unlikely.
You don't really think.
Wait, what are you saying?
I'm saying that I don't think this was an accident. I'm saying that I think Isabella Madison was murdered.
Oh my God!
Evelyn could hardly contain her shock and surprise. Murder on the 518? Improbable, but not impossible.
You really think someone here could have killed her? I mean, we were all together when it happened. Wouldn't someone have seen something?
Rachel and I definitely did not plan to murder anyone during our honeymoon. Romantic trips do not include bodies in the dining room.
Hold on, my romantic friends. Actually, everyone was not all here at the time that our movie star friend died.
Nelson is right. Derek and Jennifer ran up to the kitchen when the train stopped, and Owen followed the waitress out. How can we know what they were doing while they were gone?
Evelyn is right. I did leave the room. I went to find out why the train had stopped. But think about it. If I left the room, when would I have been close enough to Isabella to harm her? And what would my motive have been to harm Isabella anyway? Any investigator worth his salt will tell you that a crime needs two things: opportunity and motive. I didn't have either one. The people who were in the room the whole time had much more of an opportunity.
We went to the kitchen to make sure the sudden stop didn't cause a fire or injure anyone. We are chefs, you know.
And what motive would we have had? Isabella didn't do anything to us.
You didn't seem to be too happy with the scene she made earlier and when she called you a commoner.
Well, neither did you. That seems like good motivation for someone like a professor to get pretty upset.
Oh, please, someone like myself commit murder over something as frivolous as a minor insult? That seems highly unlikely, don't you think? Especially since there are far stronger, more common people present.
I'm done with the insults. Somehow being athletic makes me a murderer. Besides, you heard the doc. Isabella wasn't injured. Are you telling us the doc is lying?
Lauren was absolutely not lying. I was right there with her. Isabella was not injured. Don't you study fish? How would you even know if something was wrong? Besides, the doctor is the one that went around to all of us after the train stopped. She had the most opportunity.
I don't appreciate your insinuation. I am a healer. A crisis happened, I jumped to help. While I have no desire to participate in this absurd debate, I feel the point to mention that you and your boss represent a pharmaceutical company, which would give you access to potentially life-threatening materials, not to mention the fact that Isabella was rude to you both all evening. Wouldn't that make you both prime suspects of foul play?
Absolutely not! Pharmacists take an oath too, you know. I would never use my company's products to do harm. I would never commit murder.
What about Evelyn? She is the one who said that real life is the best story material, and what would be better than a murder?
I am much too busy recording events to be a part of them. And from what I've recorded, Lucy is the most likely suspect of any foul play.
That's crazy! Isabella was my best friend. She may have been your best friend at one point, but she clearly treated you very poorly, ordering you around, making unrealistic demands, making you clean up after her messes, and you never left her side once. You had the best opportunity and the best motive.
She's right. Pressure like that can make people do crazy things.
We all saw how badly Isabella treated you, and yet you call her your best friend. What kind of sense does that make?
Just hold on. You're all forgetting one very important thing. Okay, so Lucy had opportunity and motive, but she's not the only one. Lucy is not the only one that follows Isabella everywhere. And Lucy is not the only one that relies on Isabella for her career. In fact, Lucy's career would be over if Isabella died, but Sydney's career would skyrocket. The money she would get from having exclusive photos of Isabella's death would take her straight to the top.
People! I didn't kill this woman! You must admit, Sydney, what makes compelling argument for your participation in this crime? You definitively prove that you were involved? Okay, I admit, I got a little excited at the mention of the word murder, but that doesn't mean I want her dead. Sure, I'm gonna profit from this, but would all of you be a little excited about something that could improve your careers? Most of you are on this train to Los Angeles for work anyway.
I'm afraid I'm not convinced. I will have to confiscate your camera.
No way! Why?
You said that you didn't do this, and I do want to believe you. Innocent until proven guilty, right? Okay, so you've been taking pictures all night. You may have taken a picture that will help identify the actual cause of Isabella's death.
Alright, but I'm going with you while you look to my photos. I go where my camera goes.
I'd like to come too. If Isabella's death is something we all came into contact with, I'd like to be one of the first to know.
I'll come too.
This is kind of like trying to figure out why an animal is sick. They can't tell you why they're sick, so you have to sleuth for the answer.
Sure it is.
Do you really think that Sydney got a picture with the murderer in it when all of us here didn't see anything?
Nobody was looking for a murderer when the night began. Now we have the opportunity to go back through the night knowing what we are looking for. Sydney's obsession with taking pictures of Isabella might end up helping her after all.
Hey, don't you think we should do something with Isabella's body? I'm no expert, but I don't think we should leave it here in the dining room until we get to Los Angeles tomorrow.
Fair point. If this was a crime scene, I'd hate to disturb the evidence. But we can't very well leave it here.
Can we all just stop calling Isabella it?
Lucy, what if you go back to your room and lie down for a minute?
Hold on, my business lady friend. If there's a dangerous person among us, do you really think it's smart for us to separate from each other?
I have to agree with Nelson, especially since we do not yet know who the dangerous person is.
You know what I think? I think this is all ridiculous. I just want to get to Los Angeles and have a nice honeymoon. Besides, I have a very hard time believing that anybody here would have killed anyone else. Lucy, why don't you come back with us?
Are you sure? I mean, I don't want to stay alone, but I don't want to intrude on your honeymoon.
We would love to have you join us, Lucy. Besides, Rachel is right. We don't even know that a murder happened here. Everyone needs to stop jumping to conclusions. Someone died and that's awful. We have to make it more awful.
Listen here, you pansies! Right now, we just need a plan. Isabella's body. Who has an idea?
Actually, I do. When Jen and I went to the kitchen earlier, we commented on how large the refrigerator was. We're thinking the train was designed for more than just overnight trips. I bet we could use it for this, if everyone's okay with dry cereal in the morning.
All right, Derek, that's a start. You and Jennifer go take care of that. Next, has anyone had any success getting through to the authorities? I'll take that as a no. Nelson, you and Evelyn go to the front of the train, find a conductor, engineer, or someone to figure out if they successfully radioed for help.
Evelyn leapt into action, eager to gain more information for the benefit of the situation.
Come on, writer friend. Maybe you shouldn't write while you walk.
Now the rest of us will wait to do anything until they get back. Look, except for you. If you want to look through pictures, knock yourself out.
Owen, shouldn't you be in charge? Aren't you the investigator?
Private investigators usually work behind the scenes. Once my brain starts working on a case, I tend to forget about the other things going on around me. Now let's get started looking through those pictures. Sydney certainly captured the whole night on that camera.
Well, it's your stolen here in some pop.
Oh, shut up. I didn't see you stepping up to take any action. It seems like something a smart person would do.
Being able to bark out orders does not automatically qualify you as intelligent. You did people moving in the right direction.
Speaking of moving in the right direction, it looks like we're moving again.
Good news, everybody. We found space in the cooler for Isabella's body. And the kitchen staff is making a replacement dinner now.
Alright, here's the story, traveling friends. Our train operating friends have been in radio contact with the authorities. We are basically in the middle of nowhere right now. They want us to proceed to our final destination of Los Angeles, where the authorities will meet us when we get there. But we'll probably have to put off our arrival plans until we speak with our police friends.
Miss Millen, what if we miss our meeting? That's the whole point of us being here.
I'm sure the company would be fine if we had to reschedule. Given the circumstances,
This whole thing is just insane. I'm going to go and try to contact them to see if I can figure this schedule out. Maybe I'll get cell reception now that the train is moving again.
Hey guys, help us move Isabella's body to the cooler. Lauren, come see if you think this will work for the rest of the night.
I'll come too. Of course you will.
Are you seriously still taking pictures? What's the matter with you? She's dead.
You bet I'm still taking pictures. Do you have any idea how much money I'm gonna get for these? Isabella might be dead, but she's still gonna make me rich.
Seriously, that's very inappropriate. And declaring that you're going to profit from this definitely doesn't make you sound innocent. Plus, the police are going to confiscate the camera when we get to Los Angeles. It's evidence.
It's private property. They'll have to give it back eventually, and I'll still be the only one with these photos.
Excuse me, everyone. The kitchen staff is ready to serve the meal. If you could all please vacate the dining area for a few moments, we will clean up the mess and have dinner ready momentarily.
I'm sorry, but we better leave the dining room as is. If Isabella's death was due to foul play, then there still could be evidence in the room that will help identify what happened. Can we serve dinner anywhere else?
The launch car is available, though there may not be enough table space. But as long as some people don't mind standing, it should be a fine space to serve.
Evelyn was surprised at the physical strength required to carry a dead body, especially with the assistance of men. She required immediate sustenance.
What I think Evelyn meant to say was that was a lot harder than I expected. Jen, pass me my water.
Everything looks like it will be fine in the kitchen. Definitely not a long-term situation. Luckily, this is a short trip.
Everyone, please, we know you're probably all hungry. If you can all follow us, we will lead you to the lounge car where we will be serving dinner.
I'm just going to eat in my room, I think. I've had enough excitement for one night.
That sounds good to me. Rachel, how about we eat with Lucy?
Actually, a quiet dinner in my room sounds appealing. Can we just make our plates and take them elsewhere?
Sounds good to me. What does our investigator think?
I suppose folks could eat in their rooms. It's not like anybody's going anywhere.
Of course, no problem at all. Anyone wishing to dine in their quarters can collect their plates from the lounge and take them back to the room.
Excuse me? Ma'am, did you not hear us? We'll be serving dinner elsewhere. Ma'am, can you hear me? Ma'am? Ma'am!
Sydney, can you hear us?
Abby's no use. Her heart stopped. She's dead.
All right, everyone. It's time to face the facts. We have 2 people dead from sudden, unexplained heart failure. Now, it's possible to believe that one death was a unique occurrence, but with 2 deaths, we can't deny it anymore. There is a murderer on this train. We don't know who, we don't know how, and we don't know why. And if we don't figure it out soon, there could be more of us dead before we reach Los Angeles.
Evelyn, what are you doing?
Writing, of course.
No, you're not. You're staring at me.
Your expression is most captivating. You look
despondent. Evelyn sat across the table from the despondent young lady. She sat in silence, quietly clinging the small golden trinket in her hand. Evelyn wondered the significance of the small golden piece.
Isabella gave it to me. I didn't even realize I was playing with it.
The young lady was clearly deeply affected by the sudden death of her close friend and employer.
Isabella wasn't just a close friend. She was my best friend. I don't know if I'm sad or angry or frightened. I don't know what I'm feeling.
Despondent.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I really don't understand.
Hey, Jillian, I didn't see you come in. What do you need?
How can you say that Isabella was your best friend? She really didn't seem to care about you or anyone for that matter.
It's hard to explain. I think sometimes success can just do things to people. Isabella never cared about being famous. She just wanted to act. She was always the happiest when she was playing a part.
Are you saying that she was just pretending to be mean?
Isabella's agent was always telling her that no one pays attention to nice movie stars, and that if she wanted to get noticed, she really needed to make a scene wherever she went. And I know it looks like she was always so mean to me, but I know that wasn't really her. That crazy Isabella you guys all saw, that's just how she acted in public. Playing another part, I guess.
But didn't it bother you how she always made herself the center of attention? Didn't you feel like you deserved to get some of the credit?
I never wanted that. I like being behind the scenes. That's why we worked so well together. Why we spent all of our time together for so long. See this necklace? Isabella bought us matching ones before the trip. She said it's because we did all of this together.
I really had no idea.
Most people don't, but she built a real image on being the stereotypical crazy movie star. I always thought she could have made it by just being herself. And maybe if she wasn't so awful to everyone, she would still be alive. Anyway, you seem to spend a lot of time with Avery. You must see multiple sides of her personality, right?
I guess, a little. But she's pretty much the same person all the time. I like things to be straightforward, you know? Hey, it's been a long day. You should really go get something to eat. I think they're still serving dinner in the lounge car.
Thank you for listening. Most everyone else keeps trying to interrogate me because they think I murdered my best friend and that photographer who was chasing her. You're right. It has been a really long day. But I'm just going to skip dinner and go to bed. Good night.
Rachel, what's the matter?
Sweetheart, what's wrong? Why did you run out of the lounge crying?
This isn't how our honeymoon was supposed to go. I wanted it to be perfect.
I know. I wanted it to be perfect too.
Now, when we get to Los Angeles, we're going to have to spend our time in a police station instead of sightseeing, being accused of a murder. We didn't do anything wrong.
I know that, sweetheart. All I want is to be with you too. But we're all suspects. We have to let the police do their job.
Circumstances got you down, honeymoon friends?
Yes, this honeymoon is turning out to be a disaster.
Come on now, it's not all that bad.
Are you serious? 2 people have been murdered, and you say it's not all that bad?
Well, it wasn't either of you who got murdered. Right. And maybe you'll have to change your arrival plans a little when you get there. But you'll be spending your romantic time together soon enough. And think of the story you'll have to tell your friends when you get back home.
Nelson has the right idea, guys. This will all be over before you know it. For us, at least, who didn't know either of the victims.
I suppose you're right, Nelson. I think we're losing sight of why we're on this trip in the first place.
Thanks, Nelson. This whole thing is just making me a little crazy, I think.
How is it that you keep so calm and positive, Nelson? Aren't your plans for Los Angeles going to be messed up too? Didn't you say you have a meeting about your music?
Well, truth be told, friends, I didn't have a meeting. I sent out lots of copies of my songs, but I haven't heard back from any of the record labels where I sent them. And if I stop being positive, how will I have the courage to make it?
Wow, Nelson. I don't think I could just jump into something like that. I bet someone will decide to give you a chance.
Yeah, you're so determined. I bet your music is great. Want to share some of it with us?
I would love to, friends. I started writing some new songs during this eventful journey of ours, but I think I'm up and over at the table. Come take a look.
Hello all. Jillian, here you are. Have you seen Owen? I'm looking for him.
Sorry, business lady friend. We haven't seen him. Anything we can do for you?
Yeah, is everything okay? You don't look so good.
I'm fine. I just lost something. I'll look around here and see if I can find it. What are you guys doing in here?
Nelson was just about to share some of his music with us.
You're listening to music at a table where somebody was just murdered. Does any of this bother you?
Miss Millen, you seem upset. What's wrong? Can I help?
No, Jillian. I'm fine. If you see Owen, please send him in my direction.
Of course, Miss Millen.
Would you stop it? You can't just come barreling in here and disturb all the evidence. Well, never mind. Clearly no one seems to care that 2 people died in this location and that others should be disturbed until it is processed by the authorities. Where's a private investigator anyway? Shouldn't he be handling this?
I never said I was going to touch anything. I just left my wallet at the table. I don't think getting my wallet will disturb the evidence, do you? Why'd you follow me in here anyway? Don't trust me? Think I got something to hide?
Well, people eager to remove things from crime scenes seem somewhat suspicious. Also, you must know that I was my reading messes on the table during all the confusion with Cindy and came back to get them.
So it's not okay for me to come and get my wallet, but it's perfectly fine for you to come and get your glasses. Why is that? That seems pretty suspicious to me.
Because I won't barrel into the room and disturb everything inside.
I don't barrel everywhere.
Will you two stop it? You have been at each other's throats all night, and we have much larger problems than whatever it is you two are fighting over.
Really? You two should take a page out of Nelson's book and get some positivity.
That isn't exactly what I meant.
So true,
Can
friend.
we all just focus on the bigger problem?
Come on, guys. Let's all go be calm and positive somewhere else.
For the last time, stay out of my kitchen. We are chefs, not murderers.
We got nothing to do with these deaths.
We are not accusing you of murder. I'm just worried about the safety of these passengers. We have to get to the bottom of this. And is it very safe for the other passengers that we store bodies in my cooler?
We emptied the cooler before we put the bodies in it. There is no danger to the passengers there.
Hey, Jen, what's up? Did you come help us sleuth for clues?
No, actually, I lost my cell phone back here during all the commotion with Sydney. Did you put her body in the cooler too?
Unfortunately, they did.
It's completely unacceptable.
Listen, for the last time.
Hey! Cut it out!
Look, 2 more people to invade my kitchen.
We did not come to invade your kitchen. We actually came to tell you how much we enjoyed the dinner we just had.
What are all of you doing in here?
We were sleuthing for clues in the kitchen.
Sort of. I'm convinced that these deaths have something to do with what the victims ate.
Oh, Owen, I really need to speak with you. We already told you there are no foods that would cause this to happen. You searched the kitchen. Did you find any dangerous foods?
We all eat the same things. Take it from the people who actually work in a kitchen. When you serve something like this, an event where everyone eats the same things and all the dishes are the same, you don't know what plate's going to end up at which table.
And do you really think the kitchen staff randomly decided to put dangerous food on just 2 plates? And even if they did, I'm not saying that you did, but honestly, what are the chances that those 2 plates would end up in front of the intended people? It seems way too coincidental for me.
Fair point. What about the waitstaff, though? They served each person individually, and they were here with us before the meal was served. Plenty of time to see where each person was sitting.
We've been in and out of the kitchen a dozen times by now. The trays get handed to the waitstaff, and they walk out the door. When will they have the opportunity to sabotage the food?
Weren't Isabella and Sydney at different tables? Did 2 separate waiters decide to commit murder?
Okay. I get it. The food theory doesn't quite add up.
If you're quite satisfied, we will be returning to the kitchen without all of you.
Something's missing. What's missing?
Owen, I really need to speak.
I know what's missing.
What are you talking about?
Owen said something's missing. I know what it is.
You do.
No need to act so surprised.
I didn't mean it that way. I just...
Okay, enough. Mike, what are we missing?
Okay, it seems to me that you're getting too hung up on finding out the how, and not finding out the why. People die, you've got that. It happened in the dining car, you've got that too. So now, you've spent the entire night chasing around a food theory that hasn't gotten you anywhere. You can only try to make a layup so many times without a score, before you need to go for the outside 3-point shot. So step back, reassess, and try a new approach to the problem.
Evelyn!
You think it was Evelyn who killed them?
No, Evelyn can tell us what we're missing. I'm not following. You know how she's always writing everything down? She was writing everything down during dinner. She's writing everything down right now. She can tell us what we're missing.
Abby, that's a great idea.
Hey, I bet if you put Sydney's photos and Evelyn's notebook together, you can practically paint a picture of everything that happened last night. Where's Sydney's camera?
I remember seeing it on the table before we moved the body. Hey, the camera's not there.
What? Well, where is it?
So many people have been in and out of this room all night that anyone could have come in, picked it up, and no one would be the wiser.
Maybe Evelyn can tell us that too. What do you say, Evelyn?
Evelyn was displeased to have her writing disturbed. However, she recognized the significance her notes could have in solving mysterious murders that occurred, especially in light of the disappearance of the photographer's camera, which created a large gap in the quest for visual evidence.
I believe that was a yes.
Jed, let's go find that camera.
No! We are all going to wait here until we figure this thing out.
But we really
I know not everyone is here right now, but Mike was onto something before. All of us have been trying like crazy to figure this thing out. Either all of us are the best actors ever, or we are the ones that genuinely don't have anything to hide. Either way, let's look through Evelyn's notes, and maybe focus on the people who haven't been trying to solve the crime.
Owen, I really need to speak with you. Privately, now.
What's up, Avery? You don't look so good.
Avery, if you aren't feeling well, I would really like to.
I'm fine. Good thing you're here too, Lauren. Okay. So you both know that I work for a pharmaceutical company and I'm taking my samples to a presentation, right?
Right?
Well, when the train stopped after the rock slide, I decided to check on my samples and everything seemed fine. But then I decided to check on my samples again. I noticed that a vial of medicine was missing.
What?
Avery, this isn't good. What does it contain?
Well, that's the worrisome part. It's a new line of medication that my company is developing. It hasn't been widely tested yet.
So let me get this straight. You're missing a vial of untested heart medication on a train where 2 people have been found dead due to heart failure?
Oh my goodness!
What is it?
Avery's missing medicine that causes heart failure.
Are you serious? When were you going to share that little piece of information with the rest of us?
This new development is most exciting.
Owen, your whole focus on everyone else theory is crazy. We should have been focusing on her the whole time. She had had the means and the opportunity to kill these women. Plus, she was sitting at the same table as Isabella, who was rude to her.
Do you genuinely think that she would have told us this information if she was the one who committed the crime?
Maybe that's her plan, to make us think she's innocent.
But Derek, from what I'm reading here, Avery was nowhere near Sydney at any point. And I think it's somewhat far-fetched to believe that there are 2 separate murderers on this train.
Derek, come back.
Let's just give those 2 a minute. Avery, tell us more about this heart medication. I think it's safe to assume that this is the best lead we've had so far for a cause of death.
Well, like I said before, its primary function is to help people who are at risk for heart failure by regulating heart function. For somebody who is sick, too little would be ineffective, but too much could be very dangerous.
So, what would happen if someone without a heart problem took it?
It'd be safe to presume the same would hold true for a healthy person. Too little would go unnoticed, but too much could end in complete heart failure.
What characteristics does the medication itself have? Would people know they were taking it, or could it be hidden somehow?
Well, that's actually where my company has been focusing our research. It's a new line of medicine that my company is developing for people who have trouble swallowing traditional medication. It's in liquid form with no flavorings or added colors.
That sounds like a great idea. I bet it would be really helpful for animals too.
Focus! Okay, so if you claim it wasn't you, who else had access to your case?
That's the thing. I'm the only one with a key, and it's right here on my bracelet. The only times all night that case was open was right after the rock slide and just now, in my room.
I'm sorry about before, everyone. I've just been a little bit on edge. I was thinking we could all use some water. Anyone?
Sure. Thanks, guys.
Evelyn was parched from excitement and welcomed some refreshment.
Sounds good to me.
Don't drink that! Why? What's the matter?
The water glasses. That has to be what happened.
If the medication is a liquid, it would be very easy to hide in water.
And the medication is in liquid form with no colorings or added flavors. Nobody would know if they were drinking it.
Evelyn took amazing notes, and right before both deaths occurred, many of us were seen sipping water.
What about when Sydney died? I don't remember drinking anything then.
It's not quite as clear, but remember, those who helped move Isabella's body into the cooler came back from dining room and had some water.
Well, good catch. So now, we just need to figure out who got a hold of the medicine and got close enough to both people to put it in their water.
We still need to find Sydney's camera too.
I'm positive that this notebook will continue to be a valuable resource. If we look back through it, I'm sure to figure out who had the opportunity.
We might not need the notebook.
I think you're right.
Attention passengers! We will be arriving in Los Angeles in approximately 10 minutes. Please be prepared to leave all belongings on board while exiting until the authorities have had the opportunity to survey the scene and speak to everyone individually. Thank you.
Do you two know what happened? Tell us.
All right, everyone. We have 10 minutes before we get to Los Angeles. Now let's grab that notebook and get to work. Now that we know what we are looking for, we can catch the murderer by surprise if we all work together. Are we all in? Camera? Oh, go team!
Okay, I don't know. I can show you what I'm looking at in the water. Okay, so right here.
Just arrived! West Coast 518 from Salt Lake City has just arrived on platform 4. Just arrived, West Coast 518.
All right, folks, back it up. We're doing an investigation here. This platform is closed. Back it up.
All right, folks, please just head right over there. We're going to start taking your statement shortly. But please remember, all belongings must stay on the train until you conduct an adequate search.
Right this way, folks. We'll try doing this as quickly as possible. Stay together.
Secretary, ma'am, look, you back, please. All belongings must stay on the train until you conduct an adequate search.
While wanting to follow the officer's wishes, Evelyn was dismayed at the prospect of being separated from her writing supplies during what promised to be an exciting series of events. She also failed to comprehend how a guitar and a marine studies book could pertain to the details of this particular investigation.
What?
She doesn't like to be separated from her notebook. I can bring my book back, and Nelson, I can take your guitar. Avery, I can take your case.
That won't be necessary, Abby. I'll be handing my case straight to the police.
Miss Millen, you're handing over all your samples to the police? Don't you think you should keep them with you?
Nonsense. You heard the officers. Everything on that train is evidence. And I wouldn't want to complicate the officers' investigation by leaving them a case of dangerous samples that they couldn't open.
Hello, officers. Let me introduce myself. My name is Owen Casey, and I am a private investigator. I wanted to deliver this evidence straight to you, along with this silver case. In this bag is a notebook from our resident writer, Evelyn Williams, which I believe you will find very helpful while reconstructing the events on the train. In this bag is also a camera from our deceased paparazzo, Sydney Bennett, who was constantly taking pictures until she died.
You found the camera?
That's awesome. Where was it?
I didn't even know our photographer camera was missing.
Wow, that's a stroke of luck for us. Poor girl might actually help solve her own murder.
You say this camera was missing? Well, where did you find it?
Actually, her camera was never missing. The camera I brought along to record my upcoming lecture looked very much like Cindy's. My camera is still missing. This was on the dinner table the whole time.
I took the opportunity to look through the camera, and Sydney took one clear as day picture of Isabella's murderer, poisoning her water glass.
Oh my gosh. She did? Wait. Poison? But who would...
Why wouldn't she say anything?
Do you think she was still trying to make more money?
I knew it wasn't the food. A photograph of the poisoning.
And let me guess, this case contains the poison?
After Isabella died, it didn't take long for us to figure out that her death was no accident. Everyone else was fine. At first, we thought she may have hurt herself from when the train stopped on the rock slide, but the doctor here confirmed that she wasn't hurt.
It's true. After the train stopped, I checked everyone. No one was injured.
Who was it? Who poisoned Isabella?
At first, we all suspected that Cindy did. She had the most to gain by selling off these pictures of Isabella's death. Of course, she denied it, and she said we could look through her camera to find any helpful pictures.
And she's the other one who's deceased? That's when we realized Cindy couldn't be the murderer, and we had to start looking at other potential suspects.
Avery, you weren't even with the people who were trying to figure out who killed Isabella and Sydney. Derek, Jennifer, Lauren, and Abby went with Owen to look for clues. How did you end up being the one who figured it out?
I realized I was carrying around a whole case worth of potential danger. When the train stopped after the rock slide, I decided to check on my samples and everything seemed fine. But then I decided to check on them later and I noticed that a vial of medicine was missing.
You're missing dangerous medicine? We have to find it. The rest of you could be in danger. Your medicine poisoned Isabella? It was you. It must have been you. No one else had access to your case. Plus, you were sitting at the same table as Isabella for dinner. And you just said in front of everybody that you opened up the case right before she died. I can't believe you tried to make me kill her after you killed her. Lucy, listen. I thought the same thing at first as well. And when I went through Evelyn's notebook, we realized that Avery was knowing Sydney at any point in the evening. She couldn't have killed her, and she didn't kill Isabella.
But there was one other person at the table with you and Isabella. One other person who handled the open case of pharmaceuticals. And the only person that was near both Sydney and Isabella before their deaths.
Jillian!
Going somewhere?
You gotta be quicker than that to surprise me.
Fine, you figured it out. It was me.
Oh, I don't believe this. Jillian, how could you?
Lucy, I didn't mean to kill her. Honest, I didn't.
You did! And why Sydney? Why?
I was so angry at the way Isabella was treating us at the train station when we were buying our tickets, and again at dinner.
She was so rude to all of us. I mean, fame doesn't give people the right to talk down to people like that.
So that's why you killed her. You were angry about her insults.
No, all I wanted to do was embarrass her. When I realized that Sydney was on board taking pictures to sell, I thought to myself, what would bring Isabella down a notch? She was so worried about looking perfect to be better than everyone else that I figured a bunch of pictures of her getting sick all over the train right before her big movie premiere would be just the thing to ruin her perfect Hollywood image.
So you poisoned her to make her sick?
When Avery and I opened the case after the train stopped, I slipped out the vial that was closest to me. And during all the commotion, I poured some in her water glass. That way she would get sick and Sydney could sell her embarrassing photos.
I can't believe this. How many times have I told you that we work with dangerous medicine? What were you thinking?
And why kill Sydney, though? She was going to sell the embarrassing pictures of Isabella just like you had planned.
When Sydney started saying how she was going to sell all of her photos of Isabella and make all this money from it, I realized it doesn't matter what happens to Isabella. She was still going to be famous, and Sydney was going to get rich from her fame.
So you killed her?
When Owen and Sydney started saying how they were going to go through her photos to look for a picture of the murderer, I realized that she must have gotten a photo of me in it. She never stopped taking pictures. I was sure she had one of me. So I realized that I still had some of the vial left in my pocket. And when I saw my opportunity, I poured the rest into her water glass.
And you knew it was going to kill her, and you did it anyway.
And for nothing! I went back as soon as I could and hid the camera in my pocket. But now I find out I have so
empty water glass camera. I'm glad we're along with it.
Avery and I realized that Jillian was the only one with access to the open case of pharmaceuticals, and we knew she must be the murderer. Holly looked through Evelyn's notes and realized Jillian must have Cindy's camera, but we knew she would never give up the evidence unless we tricked her into it.
That's when I decided that if we pretended we had the camera, it might make Julian nervous enough to confess. And I was right.
So I did have the camera all along? And you didn't actually have a photo of me poisoning anyone?
Of course, now that you confessed in front of all of us, it doesn't matter if we have a picture or not. You're under arrest.
All right, folks. Since all of you for official statements, we only have the murder and their confession, we should get all of them right away soon enough. So if you all follow me, we've probably take you all downtown.
Nice work, everyone. And Abby, brilliant idea with that camera blood.
Abby, I know we didn't want to work on this trip, but obviously this trip had other plans. You're a great asset for all the chaos. You'll be a superb best captain.
That is so much coming from you. I've learned so much about keeping my cool under pressure. This is going to be so important for everyone.
I hate to admit it, but you've had some very effective insights throughout this investigation. Perhaps I underestimated you.
Well, that'll teach you to judge a book by its cover, a professional.
I noticed what your degree was in.
Criminal justice.
Well, this was all very surprising.
I'll say, what a way to start our honeymoon.
Jennifer, you and Derek worked so well together to help solve this crazy case.
I suppose you're right. You know, we work so much better together when we aren't fighting.
You're right, Jen. We need to find a way to keep each other on track, listening to each other, and working with each other instead of against each other on the restaurant.
If I may, cooking friends, I happen to know a fabulous musician who's also looking for work and is very good at keeping people calm and relaxed.
Come on, Nelson. Let's talk terms in the car.
Lucy, you coming?
Yes, I just can't believe this. I am really sorry that I thought you were the murderer.
It's fine. I take partial responsibility. I should have been more careful with who I picked to be my assistant and let handle the samples.
You couldn't have known what Jillian would do. I don't think anyone would have guessed it. I know I didn't.
Well, this might not be the greatest time, but I find myself needing a new assistant. Somebody who has a good mind for business, good organizational skills, and who follows the rules. Someone who may be in need of employment?
Me? You want me to be your assistant?
I know it's going to take some time. You have to handle Isabella's affairs, but when that slows down, give me a call. Salt Lake City is a great place to live.
I will. Evelyn, come on.
Evelyn realized that she was the last train passenger remaining on the platform. Before joining the others, she reflected on the bizarre offense that befell her and her fellow passengers on the West Coast 518. It was unlikely that any of their lives would truly be the same. Friendships torn apart, new relationships forged, old relationships made stronger, and new opportunities presented. What a great story this would make.